Yeah, eat, sleep, fantasy, you rockin' with the best. NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. We talking mock drafts, running backs, better follow the conversation.
What's up, Eat Nation? Welcome back for another episode of the Eat, Sleep, Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Clayton, and joining me for the second straight day.
That's crazy, right?
He's a farmer by day and a podcaster by night.
Oh, yeah.
Armando Crespo, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I'm here to shed some light on this fantasy football world. Look, man, after recording with you and Dale the other week, I was like, oh my God, they really missed me. You guys,
all the time. That's all we think about, man. Whenever we're podcasting, we're like, oh, I wish Armando was here.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. So you can show up late.
It's all good. I appreciate you coming on. Dale, of course, is apparently it's his birthday today, so he gets to go do things or something.
Wow,
so
lucky guy.
yeah. So don't worry about my, the two jobs I have and my young kids. I still make time. We do it for the people, though, right, Armando? Dale's selfish. Right. Dale's selfish. He thinks nothing but about himself. That's it. So thanks, Dale.
Preach.
So
Clay in.
So unlike Dale's long intro, like he always wants to do here, today we're just going to talk some. What to expect with these week 3 games coming up. So let's just kick her right off with the first game we got here, Washington at Buffalo. So last time we saw Washington, that was in that Thursday night game. Heineke looked pretty good. He's pretty efficient. 336, a couple touchdowns. What do you expect out of, we're not really starting Heineke at all, but what about these running backs like Antonio Gibson, JD McKissick? What are you doing with these guys?
I mean, you're starting them. You're for sure starting Gibson because you drafted him in the third round. Right now, I don't know who. Unless you got Tyson Williams, there's not a running back option that can replace him that you would have picked up somehow, some way at this point in the game. So you kind of have to start Gibson. But it's gonna be a tough game. The Bills are a good defense, so I definitely have him as RB2 with limited upside. And McKissick has shown up. Last week he was a top 5 running back.
Yeah,
so you kind of start as a flex.
Yeah, well, I kind of want to see it happen. I want to see McKissick for the second straight week do it, right? That's the thing. You come out. It was Heineke's first full game. So I mean, he doesn't technically really use his running backs very often in the passing game, but he did in this one. So we'll have to go from there. And of course, on the receiving side of the ball, you're starting McLaurin, Logan Thomas. In my opinion, these are pretty much the only 2 guys that I could count on. Right.
I will say that. I do believe that McKissick will get less snaps than he did last week. I mean, Heineke's familiar with McKissick. They're both two. They play with each other. I don't think he had as many snaps with Gibson, leading up until week 2. So that's why I'm like, we'll see how this shifts. I think Gibson will get more snaps moving forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean they only had they at least had what? This will be 10 games off they've had
exactly
in between, right?
Yeah.
Compared to 4. So all right, and then the Buffalo side, are you worried about Josh Allen at all? Like these numbers he's putting up aren't the best.
I mean, he's had 2 pretty tough matchups. I mean, I'm not too worried. I guess he's going against Washington, a great defense, great front 7. I do think that he's going to come back down to earth from last year. I don't think he's a top 3 quarterback. I think he's still a top 7, 5, somewhere in that range. If you have him, you have to start him, but I think you need to temper your expectations for this week and going forward. I mean, I don't think he's better than Kyler Murray or Patrick Mahomes or even Tom Brady at this point. So, I mean, that's not what you want to hear when you drafted him, possibly in the 2nd or 3rd round, but realistically, I mean, you're not going to see what you got last year. That's clear at this point.
Yeah, the last time these 2 teams met, he threw for a couple touchdowns and rushed for 1 as well. So, I mean, it's the potential's there. But let me ask you a question. I got prime example. We're in a league together. I got Tom Brady or Josh Allen. You going Brady?
This week, I think you kind of have to.
Yeah,
you kind of have to.
And it does. It sucks because I kept Allen in that one, and just I expected a lot of things. Kind of disappointed right now, but that's the way it's early on in the year, right? So,
right. Well, another thing that just so they know why I say that as well is because this is a 6-point touchdown league for passing touchdowns, so that kind of gives Brady a little bit more of an edge as well. Because in traditional leagues, it's 4 points. Brady's going to throw the touchdown. He's not going to run for those touchdowns versus Josh Allen's going to run. So I think he's more appealing that way. And I mean, Josh Allen is a mobile quarterback, but as we've seen, Devil Singletary is getting more involved. Zach Moss more involved than last year. So his rushing ability is somewhat diminished from last year. Not a lot. I'm not going crazy about it, but it's something to monitor.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Well, then talk about Singletary here. You're starting Singletary. I think he's kind of proved himself. He's a more explosive back, I think, right now. Would you agree with that?
I think I agree, but I think Zach Moss is going to get the red zone work, but Singletary's getting the passing work. And I mean, where are you starting him? Is I guess my question to you is he's not an RB2 in your mind? Are you thinking more of a flex, right? Or are you saying RB2
for Singletary?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as of right now, yeah, I think it would be more in flex play. I do have him as my 30th ranked running back this week, so I'm not super high on him. But like you said, it's opportunity, right? That's the biggest thing when it comes to fantasy, and that's what he's getting right now. So with Zach Moss, I'm just kind of a little bit, he was a healthy scratch the first game. Came into last game, had 2 rushing touchdowns. I want to wait and see approach. I want to see what happens because I'm not sure this is going to be a blowout game, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be quite close.
Two great defenses,
yeah, exactly. With these wide receivers, you're starting Diggs. Are you flexing Beasley, Sanders, any of those guys?
No, Sanders hasn't done anything yet.
No?
I don't think Sanders is droppable just yet, but I do think that you're not starting him. I mean, it's just Josh. I'm only starting Josh Allen and Diggs comfortably. Singletary at flex. Zach Moss, no way, no how.
Yeah, I can relate to you with that. That's awesome. All right, next one, Chicago at Cleveland.
Oof.
In this game, we're going to see the Justin Fields era starting this for the
Maybe.
Bears. So
yeah,
I'm excited, but I want to see what the kid's got going on. I mean, he's drafted high enough for reasons. So, you starting him, or are you just going to wait and see first before?
I mean, 2 quarterback leagues. Yes, I guess I might roll the dice. But no, I mean, there's no one on. I mean, honestly, there's no one on the Bears. I'm starting with confidence. I have to start David Montgomery, but I don't feel comfortable about it. He wasn't good last week, and Allen Robinson has been atrocious.
I'm a little bit higher on Montgomery than I usually am, to be honest with you. I mean, he had 80 scrimmage yards last week, 61 rushing yards, 18 receiving yards. I think he's going to be used a little bit more heavily in this offense. Sure. I think it's going to help his run game too. I mean, when you got a guy like Andy Dalton, that's not a dual threat quarterback that can't run, you're stacking the box, right? In most cases, right? So now you got a guy that you got to worry about out of the backfield for as of his legs getting out of the pocket and stuff like that. So you kind of got to anticipate that. So I think it kind of opens a few holes for Montgomery. That's why I kind of think he's going to be used a little bit more in this one.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to last year, with Carson Wentz and Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders wasn't doing anything. But as soon as Jalen Hurts showed up, Miles Sanders and him, it opened up for him. So you're probably right. I mean, I agree with that. You're 100% right.
Now, do you think Allen Robinson, you're starting him because you drafted him probably as your wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Do you think Justin Fields is going to make Robinson more relevant than what he has been? Do you think he's going to step up a little bit?
One or two things are going to happen. I think rookies and inexperienced quarterbacks tend to target one guy. Now, is that guy going to be Allen Robinson or Mooney? I don't think it's one. I don't think it's going to be both of them. I think one of them is going to be completely faded out while Fields on the field this week, or it's going to be the other. I think they don't have the ability to target 2 guys. I don't think Fields. No. I mean, especially after last week, you can't expect much out of the guy. So
exactly.
I mean, my money is on Allen Robinson, but
Allen Robinson. Okay, and I mean, after last week, 6 catches for 66 yards for Mooney. Are you going to? He's a little bit banged up right now. I know he was questionable going into this game. So, are you flexing him?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not high on him. I've never been high on him. So. Yeah. I don't own him in any leagues, and I would never trade for him.
I'm super high. I was super high on him going into the year, but then with the whole Andy Dalton news, I'm curious to see how it's going to play out with Fields. To be honest with you, I think it might be beneficial, might be good for him. Who knows, right? So
we'll see.
The tight end wise, not really touching any of those tight ends on this team. Hey, they haven't really shown up at all.
2 tight end leagues, I mean, there's upside there, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, honestly, with this, we'll wait another week, see if he's targeting tight ends. I mean, he's a rookie, so it's going to be a complete shot in the dark at this point.
Exactly. All right, Chicago, Cleveland side of the ball. Baker Mayfield, I have him quite low this week. I'm not really super confident with him. I mean, I do have him ranked as my. Just let me go down here. I have him quite low at 19 this week. So, I mean, I'm starting him in 2 QB leagues. I'm just not super confident. It's just the run game is strong right now. You know what I mean? Like it always has been. So are they going to rely more on the run game in this game? I do think they will.
They are getting Odell Beckham probably back.
Yeah, they are banged up though, big time on that receiving end, on the receiver side. So yeah, having Odell back, do you think they're going to force him the ball though?
I mean, it depends on how healthy he is.
I
don't know. I mean, he's still game time call. So if he's back, I think they will force him the ball a couple of times. I mean, but yeah, I'm not starting him.
And I think they're probably going to run out that rookie Demetric Felton quite often. I mean, this kid was drafted he's a running back, but played quite like almost a whole season in college as a wide receiver. So he knows both positions. He did have 51 yards and a touchdown catch last week. So, maybe they'll throw him in there. I mean, maybe somebody to look at for, DFS, maybe he's probably going to be really cheap. So, and then as far as, the receivers go, I think I'm not really touching any of these receivers this week.
No, I mean, a lot of people are talking up Donovan People-Jones, Rashad Higgins. I mean, honestly, Rashad Higgins showed some flashes last year, but I'm not starting him.
Yeah, exactly.
I picked him up in our dynasty league. I was like, well, 3 weeks, maybe he shows up, but I wouldn't start him in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I think you're looking more at the Anthony Schwartz and guys like that. I don't think you're really touching. So
no.
Oh, hey, how did you get down here? Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Take that out. Come say hi, and then you have to go back upstairs. Okay. Sorry, guys. Say hi.
Hey.
Okay, you go back upstairs. My house is madness right now.
I got hear
kid screaming upstairs. He's teething right now, so he's just in rough shape. And
Your
then the 2.5-year-old just rolled down here. And hi, my wife. And so
the whole family. This is great.
Oh, this is awesome. Sorry, guys. We'll try to get that out.
No worries.
Welcome to the wonderful life of Clayton Cadu. This is it. All right. Let's move on.
You have kids.
I got everything, man. I got dogs, cats, everything. You name it. So, Baltimore at Detroit.
Wait, time out. Before we go back, Hooper. I just want to say Hooper and Njoku. I think they're both going to get big bumps with Landry out. That's all I want to say. I have Hooper as number 8. I think Njoku will finally have some sort of life. I think they're going to use their tight ends heavily with Landry out.
I don't understand what ever happened in Njoku. He was so basically touted big time when he came out of college when he was drafted, and then just never really done anything. So hopefully this is the time. So all right. Baltimore at Detroit. I mean, on the Ravens side of the ball, you're starting Lamar, you're starting Tyson Williams, flexing probably Murray.
Yep. Flexing. I wouldn't be opposed to that, especially in standard.
Yeah, well, you get touchdowns, right? So, I mean, he's the red zone or the goal line back. So, and then as far as receivers go, Marquise Brown, where's he for you? Is he going to be a wide receiver too?
Yeah, I think he's I think he's a solid wide receiver too. I think I'm ranked 17 currently, which I think is kind of high compared to what we were drafting him as like a wide receiver 50 or 60.
Oh yeah. No, he was deep down there. I'm not super high on him this week. I'm actually just trying to find where I did put him in there. I got him just outside my top 24. I have him at 26 right now.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that if you think you're going to lose the game, like he could be an explosive player that can get you, those 16 points, which he has 2 weeks in a row. I get the worry. He wasn't great last year, and Detroit Lions are better in the past versus the run. But I think it's a good shot in the dark if you really need a lot of points going into this.
Yeah, exactly. And Mark Andrews, of course, that's a no-brainer, right? So, and then on the Lions side of the ball, Jared Goff, he's been throwing a few touchdowns week to week. He's been, he's impressing me. I'm more impressed than I was when the news came out that he signed with them. But
I mean, he's quarterback 9 right now in some of our formats. Like he's usable. Like if you're desperate, he's fine.
Yeah, he could go. He's gone back-to-back weeks with 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, you want a quarterback that throws touchdowns, right? That's the biggest thing with fantasy. So, I mean, I'm not starting him personally. I have him pretty far down there in my rankings this week. What is the distribution you think going to be with DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams? You're starting Swift for sure.
Yeah, I mean Jamal Williams is getting the start. He's getting the work. I mean, you kind of as a flex, sure. Yeah.
I mean, for a guy, he had almost 100 scrimmage yards last week. So, I mean, that's pretty solid. I mean, for flex play, that's what you want. So,
yeah, I feel comfortable starting him as a flex without a problem. And Swift, I mean, I think he's going to be a solid, solid RB2/flex.
Yeah, I agree with that. And of course, we got to talk about TJ Hawkinson. He's pretty much he's money, right?
Yeah,
8 receptions, 66 yards, touchdown catch in week 2. So,
I mean, a little more in depth. I think he's like I'm going to rank him tight end 2 or 3 rest of season. Like, not going to even change that. I don't care who the matchup is. I don't know if that's crazy. I think it's Kelsey, and then Hawk, Waller, depending, and then Gronk.
Yeah, I have. I'm not counting out Kittle quite yet. So as of right now, for this week, I got Kelsey, Waller, Hawkinson at 3, and then Kittle and Gronk at 5. So, but I mean, one more game like Kittle's had, and he's going to start maybe dropping down a spot or 2 because, I mean, that can't continue. He's so talented. So we'll talk about that when we get to the San Fran game. But and then as far as receivers go, you're not starting any of these guys. I mean, Quintez Cephas, though. I mean, he had 63 reception yards and 4th career reception, touchdown reception in week 2. So, I mean, I mean, he could go 4 straight games if he gets in the end zone this week.
Right. And I mean, Tyrell Williams is going on IR, so it's not like the targets might dissipate anywhere. Like they're still going to go to him. Like that's the crazy part. Or wide receiver one on offense.
Yeah, he could be a guy. I mean, you're not starting him this week. By no stretch are you starting him this week, but might be a guy to keep an eye on on the wire. Maybe could be after this week. I mean, if he puts up another solid game, this guy's very not owned very highly, so we could find ourselves looking at him. So jump over to go ahead.
No, I was gonna say they're gonna be behind. I can't imagine like they're not. He's gonna be if you want someone to pick up now, beat the waiver wire, get him this week because it's gonna continue.
That's smart too. Yeah. I would say the same thing, actually. I did grab him in a couple leagues, deeper dynasty leagues. So, Arizona at Jacksonville should be a blowout, I think.
Yeah,
you're firing up all the main guys. We won't go too much in depth in this game, but you're firing up Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins,
Rondale Moore.
Yeah, are you flexing Rondale Moore or is he your
it depends on like where I'm at in my team. Like if if I'm looking for some big upside, sure. If I have better options, I might look elsewhere. But I like the upside there for sure. He's involved.
Well, I do like that in the fact that they're probably going to get they're probably going to be leading this game real quick and early. So I'd like the fact that, if they do rest, say they rest a little bit D-Hop for a little bit or whatever, doesn't play as often. Yeah. I would love to see Rondale Moore. I am starting him in a bunch of leagues that I do have him in. So have another game like you did last week, 7 receptions for 114 yards. So do it. And then running backs, who's the one to own in this game? Like James Conner or Chase Edmonds?
I don't think James Conner has shown anything. I don't think Chase Edmonds has shown anything either. Yeah. But I mean, you're starting him because he's getting the passing down work and more carries. So I think James Conner is worth dropping at this point in the season. Like he's a handcuff to a guy to a shitty guy. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a pass heavy offense, and these guys are. They don't have a run game, right? So. Yeah. And why would you want to run the ball when you got, the amount of receivers that are on this team? All right. Are the Jaguars going to be any different than what we've seen in the last 2 weeks?
They need to be. I think James Robinson is going to get more involved. I mean,
they need to pound.
They have to pound the rock, and they have to get him more involved to win games. If they don't do that, and they need to stop doing these stupid negative yards for Laviska Shenault. Like throw him, take him downfield and throw some screens for the guy. Like this is terrible.
Yeah, I know Laviska was banged up, but he's healthy. I read that today. Marvin Jones seems like he's going to be the wide receiver 1 on this team by the looks of it. Hey, he had 6 for 55 and a touchdown last week, and I mean, he's been dynamite this year so far. So
no complaints.
that should carry forward. Hey.
100%. I do like DJ Chark. I don't think he's if you're desperate, shot in the dark, take DJ Chark. I think he's better. I think he's better than Laviska Shenault this year. I don't think they're using Shenault well at all in this offense.
Well, I don't think they're running this offense very well at all.
No,
so
at all.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the Chargers at the Chiefs. What do we got going on the Chargers side of the ball?
I think you start Eckler, you start Mike Williams, you start Herbert, you start Keenan Allen. I think if you have a starter on this go, you just go with them.
Yeah, all those main guys, because all those guys were drafted quite heavily. Mike Williams is, starting to surprise me a little bit. He's going for his 4th in a row with 6+ catches, 80+ reception yards. So, he the last time these two teams played off, he went 6 for 108 in a touchdown. So,
you want to hear a fun fact that I heard on another pod?
Absolutely.
Mike Williams, yards per catch has gone down from 15 last year to 9 this year.
Ooh.
So they're getting the ball to like an easier catch radius, if that makes sense. So that's kind of interesting to see how that develops. If they continue doing that, or are they just going to make him run downfield or make him catch a bomb?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is useless.
Well, he's moved up. He's moved up quite highly in my rankings. When I was ranking him really far down there. Now he's up in that wide receiver 3 range flex play.
Yeah,
for me. So
if I own him, I'd start him as a flex. Over a lot of guys that I would start him over Chase personally at this point.
Yeah, exactly. He's been involved early, right? I mean, 2 games in, and he's putting up numbers, so that's a good thing. All right, on the Chiefs side of the ball, the only question I have is what to do with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And I know you're going to laugh at that because I gave away a 1st-round pick for him, but you can't give up on the guy, can you?
Can you? Yes, you can. I mean, if you have better options, or you trade for better options, I would rather. I know this is crazy. I would rather be starting Tyson Williams or Murray from the Baltimore Ravens this week over CH. Mike Davis. I fucking hate Mike Davis, but he has CH is maybe an RB3 at this point until he shows me otherwise.
And I as of now, I can't just. The kid's too talented. That's the problem, and that's because he's the only guy I have in my roster. But
right.
So
if you have better options, go for it. Like Elijah Mitchell, maybe.
How about this? Him or Rojo? Which one?
Oh man, that's brutal.
Well, that's what I have in that league. I got Dalvin
CH.
Exactly. So I made the right trade then. Perfect.
Yeah, I know you made the right trade. Yeah, sure. You did it. Good job.
All right, we won't even bother anymore with that game. You're starting those guys: Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey. The normal guys there. So
for sure.
New England and Saints at New England.
This is the ugliest game of the week.
Exactly. I think
Kamara, Damian Harris. That's it.
Yep, I would agree with that. I think Belichick's going to destroy. I think this defense is going to be too much for the Saints. I think that game we saw of Winston and his 5 touchdown game week 1, that'll never happen again.
It was 11 for 18. He didn't it wasn't even that good. It was the defense that won the game. It wasn't him.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, Kamara is the only guy really that you can trust in this offense at this moment. I know people were talking about, Juwan Johnson, the tight end. I'm not touching him. I fell for that and I got burnt with that. So,
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say Tyson Hill. I think we're we're getting inching closer to him being a starter.
Taysom Hill.
We're getting closer for him to be a starter in the NFL again. I think he's a better quarterback. I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah, a couple more shit shows by Winston, and that's exactly what you're going to see. And then, like you said on the Patriots side about Damian Harris, James White, is he a thing?
Yeah, I guess.
PPR?
Definitely in PPR, 100%. Yeah, I think he's a flex / RB2. I would start him over CEH. I know it's a little. I mean, the defense is great for the Saints, but he's going to be involved in the passing game. Yeah,
fair enough. Tight end is Hunter Henry or Jonnu. I mean, they were both kind of involved last week. Who do you like out of those two?
If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Hunter Henry. That's just me. I like the name better. That's all.
Yeah. That's the problem, right? So
they're both mediocre.
If he could get in the end zone, that's going to be his 3rd straight in a row against New England with a touchdown, or against the Saints with a touchdown, going back to his days with the Chargers. So
nice.
All right. So perfect. Let's go to
Bengals. This is the Falcons.
Yeah, Atlanta Falcons and the Giants game. I'll start this off right now. Daniel Jones is going to be a top 12 quarterback this week.
I don't think that's crazy, man. I think I mean 100 yards rushing last week. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, he's going to get. I mean, I think what's going to happen with this game is I think you're going to see a lot more Barkley. You're firing Barkley up. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody that says, you're going to try to sit him, you're not sitting him. You can't
not
afford to sit him.
Not this week.
I mean, I'm 0-2 in the 2 leagues I have him in. One I'm 1-1, and the other one I'm 0-2 in. And the thing is drafting him, I knew what was going to happen, right? I mean,
right.
I'm not worried about the first 2 weeks of the season. I'm worried about the last half of the season, or you know what I mean,
sure.
last 3 quarters of the season. So I knew it was going to be Barkley was going to be inched in slowly, eased in, and I think this is a game he's going to pop. To be honest with you, so I think you're going to see a lot more of Barkley in this one, and I think Daniel Jones is going to, this Falcons defense is trash.
Oh yeah,
right. He's going to be able to throw this ball all over the field. So. Are you buying into the Sterling Shepard hype?
Oh yeah, I bought into before the season even started. I'm all on board that guy. He's awesome.
As long as he's healthy, he's startable, and like he's a locked in starter. I would think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you might draft some guys ahead of him, but I mean he's producing better than almost anyone drafted ahead of him. He's like a solid wide receiver too, easily.
And then this thing with Golladay, with him and screaming at is it Jason Garrett on the sideline?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a game you're going to see a lot more of him in? Because
I think
going back to another pod that I listened to too, mentioned something about how he wants to run more slant routes because he's a little bit banged up, I think. So
yeah, definitely.
He's maybe I don't know. I'm not touching Golladay. I got him in a few leagues. I'm not starting him though. The only guy I'm starting on this team. I'm starting Daniel Jones over guys like Matt Ryan, like Ryan Tannehill this week. I have no problem with that. Saquon Barkley, fire him up, and Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a shot in the dark for tight end, I think Evan Ingram might be. He's coming back this week finally. If you're looking for someone, I mean, tight ends is if you don't have one top 5-6 guys, Evan Ingram is someone you could throw a dart at. Because he's against Atlanta, why the fuck not?
Yeah, exactly. All right, then the Atlanta side of the ball, I mentioned. I mean, Matt Ryan, passed for over 300 yards last week, but I'm not confident starting him anymore. Like, I mean, if I have him,
yeah.
I mean, if you drafted him to start him in 2 QB leagues, or you're starting him because there's worse options out there. But if I can help it, I'm not starting him. Mike Davis and Cordarrelle Patterson. I mean, I know you're not high on Davis whatsoever. I do think that Davis is going to get some work and some fantasy points this week.
Yeah, I mean he's involved. He gets in PPR especially. Like he's usable enough, but he's not an RB2. Like we know that. I mean this is a good matchup. Yeah, you can start him here, but I wouldn't feel good about it moving forward. Like just wait for the green lights to show on the matchups, and that's about it.
Yeah, and I mean Cordarrelle Patterson, I get his 5 catches, 70 yards, scrimmage yards last week, but 2 touchdowns. I can't buy into that though. I guess he's still going to get some looks at the running back position because Mike Davis doesn't have anybody else behind him. But right. I don't know. We're not going to that. We just saw his best game last week. So
yeah, 100%.
And then Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts in this passing game. Those are the only guys I want. I'm not touching Gage. I mean, I understand he had 5 receptions last week, but
he's also injured, might not play.
Yeah, exactly. So good call there. All right, Cincinnati Pittsburgh game.
There's some news on this. Deontay Johnson didn't practice, and Higgins is on track not to play according to their website. So there's 2 big receivers that might not play this week.
Yeah. So who does that? So let's start with Pittsburgh side of the ball. I mean, Najee Harris, you're starting no matter what. Now, when it comes to say Johnson sits, who is the benefactor out of these receivers?
It has to be Claypool. I mean, last year, I think Deontay, whenever he went off the field, Claypool just exploded. I mean, Claypool has been, not very good, not even a wide receiver 4 at this point.
Yeah, he hasn't been good.
Deontay's if Deontay sits, I think Claypool, catapults into the wide receiver 3 category, with upside, obviously, but I think that's a safe place, where I would feel okay starting as a wide receiver 3.
I agree.
Juju's just a PPR guy and, place slot.
Yeah, and another guy, if you want to be try to sneak him in there before waivers go through next week, because we're not sure the severity of Johnson's injury. So
right.
James Washington could be a guy that slides in there as well, right? So
you can take over the Claypool role. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the Bengals side, did you start Joe Burrow?
No.
this Steelers defense is legit.
Yeah,
they're no joke. So I think Mixon's still going to get his, and if Higgins does sit, I mean, I've always been high on Tyler Boyd. If I find out Higgins does sit this week, I'm definitely firing up Boyd everywhere.
100%. Yeah, Boyd is. I mean, yeah, Boyd is. I fucking love the guy. I think he's a wide receiver too. When there's only two guys, it's a crowded wide receiver core right now. So he's in and out for me.
And you gotta start Jamar Chase for the simple fact he's catching a touchdown every week as of now, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
So, all right, Tennessee and Indianapolis mentioned earlier. I don't like Tannehill. I think this is a Derrick Henry's going to smash in this game.
Oh yeah, especially because they're not going to have their quarterback over at the Colts. I mean, that defense. You light that team up right now. They're going to run the ball and destroy the Colts. The Colts have no shot in this game.
Well, didn't Henry put up 3 touchdowns against them last time they played?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So yeah, Henry's going to smash. I like Julio and AJ Brown in this one. You're going to start them because they're elite wide receivers.
This could be the week that we get AJ Brown back to what we think he is. Maybe.
Let's hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned in yesterday's episode, if he does have another bad week, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go chase every owner that has him, and I'm going to try to make a deal because he's going to pop at some point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we watched what he did last year. On the Colts side, I'm starting Jonathan Taylor, and that's probably about it.
I mean, if you had a better option than Jonathan Taylor at this point, I would take it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's just it. And we can't forget Michael Pittman too. I mean, we did see him blow up last week for the first time. Like I dropped him in every league after week 1, which is bad. I know, bad managing there, but I mean, someone's got to catch the ball there, right? So I think Pittman's going to be that guy, and that's pretty much about it. Him and Nyheim Hines. I'm not, at this point, I'm not flexing Nyheim Hines, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him heavily involved tomorrow.
Yeah, if he gets Sunday. 3 touchdowns on 4 touches, that's not crazy to me. That's what he does. I think Doyle's also slightly interesting. In deep tight end. Like if you are looking for another starting dog, Cooper's gone. The guy I mentioned earlier is gone. Doyle's okay. I mean, it's going to be 2 shitty quarterbacks for the Colts throwing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they rely on their tight ends somewhat.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, the Jets at Broncos. The more exciting side of this is going to be Teddy Bridgewater. I have him ranked as my 13th ranked quarterback. Same thing.
High.
Starting him against guys like over guys like Matt Ryan. Actually, let me look here. Sorry, I have him at 14. Okay. The guys I'm starting him ahead of is like Sam Darnold, Ryan Tannehill, and guys like that. So those 2 specific name guys, and Derek Carr as well. So Bridgewater, I like him. I actually blew my waiver. I'm in an 18-team league. I ended up blowing my way because it's one of those ones where you use your waiver, you drop to the bottom. I was number 6, and I had Trey Lance sitting there, and my other quarterback was Joe Burrow. And I said, "There's no way. I got to go get some guy with that's going to, I had to drop Lance. I kept Burrow on my bench, so I dropped Lance and went on and got Bridgewater. But I don't think I'm going to regret that, especially if he keeps playing the way he's playing."
Yeah, I mean, they did start off with like 3, cake matchups to start the season. They're going to go 3-0 without a problem. I mean, what comes after is what you should expect. I mean, you still have Joe Burrow, so you should be fine. But yeah, I think this is a good week to bench Joe Burrow and go with Teddy Bridgewater. I wouldn't be shocked if he finishes up in the top 10, top 12, just because he's playing the Jets.
Yeah, and I mean, with Bridgewater, as of right now, he ranks 2nd in the NFL with a 77% completion rate. So that's awesome. Yeah. Both running backs, Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams. I think this is going to be a Javonte Williams game. We're starting to see a little bit more of him.
Yeah,
I hate Melvin Gordon only because I lose bets against that guy nonstop with Dale. And
I don't understand where this came from. Dale loving Melvin Gordon. Like I was a Melvin Gordon guy. Where the fuck did this come from?
I don't know, man. He's been touting him all year, but doesn't like him now because he lost the last bet we had. So I never wants to talk about him again on the show. You said. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
But you're starting to see a little bit more Williams in this backfield. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of that as well.
Yeah.
And then with Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick and Noah Fant, I think they're all startable because Bridgewater's going to, tossed quite a few balls, I think, this week. Last week it was over 30 passes, so I think you're going to see a little bit more of that again. And I think Sutton and Patrick are good options there.
Yeah, I'm not against any of that. I do think Melvin Gordon is still an RB 2-3 going forward, even with Javonte. I think they're both along those lines. You don't know who's going to score a touchdown. One of the two is. So start them if you have them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then on the Jets side of the ball, I'm not touching anybody, but if I had to pick someone, that'll be Corey Davis.
Yeah, sure. This is a matchup where he might get a touchdown. He wasn't going to catch one last week. He was not startable. But this week, it's possible. He's not playing against Bill Belichick every week.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Belichick basically that's what he did, right? Took out their best offensive player, and that's what happened. So
that's all. Yeah, every game. I mean, Michael Carter's interesting if you're super desperate, but that's about it.
I mean, these are guys too that you got to think about. Once these bye weeks come in, we're going to be talking about these guys like they're RB2s. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So, all right. Miami at the Raiders, probably going to be another shit show. The only one I'm starting out of here. I'm not touching any of the receivers on the Dolphins, to be honest with you.
Not this week.
I'm just not comfortable with Brissett there. I think if anything, Myles Gaskin, I think, is a start this week.
Yeah.
Because I think Brissett's going to use him heavily in that passing game.
They have to. He can't throw the ball very far. So
yeah, exactly. So, and I mean, as far as Jalen Waddle, Gesicki, and Parker, I don't see it happening for them this week.
Someone might do well. Like he's going to focus on someone. They might do well, but like if I would find better. Like Shepard, I would have above all these guys, and not someone that was, Marquise Brown ahead of all these guys. Like and
you got to throw in there the fact Fuller most likely will be back this week too. So
exactly,
I guess one of those guys could go.
They're not going to go back to back donuts, right? They're gonna score a touchdown. So
yeah, exactly. So I mean, if anything, I think most of these guys you could put them as flex plays. Like Waddle's been so good too.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's going to be in the cards from this week.
Not this
week.
And
on the Raiders side of the ball, we got Derek Carr, who, I mean, you got to start him at this point, do you not? After what he's done?
I mean, yeah, he's been, top 10 quarterback every week. You kind of do have to start him. But who are you benching for him? Like, there's 10 guys that are amazing and, 2 guys that have great matchups. Like, it's just hard to fit him in there. 2 quarterback leagues, sure, throw him in there, but it's just hard to bench like an Aaron Rodgers, who's quarterback 10, like in rankings right now.
Yeah, well, and you look at him, he leads the NFL with 817 passing yards, and he's tied for third with 62 completions. So, I mean, he went undrafted in most leagues.
Yeah. It's
which
crazy.
Is crazy. I mean, let's talk in week 6 and see if he's really that high still, right? That's the thing. Exactly. Have you heard any word as Jacobs playing this week?
I don't think he is. I think it's unlikely. He did practice. He has a non-contact jersey on today. My bet is if he plays, you're not starting him if you can avoid it.
Yeah, fair enough. And then you're not starting Drake. And I think Miami's run.
It is a revenge game, so maybe.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So there's that. You can look into that if you're looking for someone like PPR for sure. Kenyon Drake is usable in that format, but that's about it.
And then, of course, you're firing up Waller. And are you touching like Henry Ruggs right now or anything?
No,
like
those corners are the best in the NFL. Like I'm not. Yeah. No, he's not that good.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. If you would have said, yeah, maybe. Yeah, no, there's so basically, yeah. I mean, you got Myles Gaskin, Kenyon Drake, and PPR, and pretty much Waller all around, right? And Derek Carr in two quarterback super flex leagues. Tampa Bay and the Rams. This could be the most exciting game
easily
of the weekend. Like I'm excited to watch this game.
Yeah, no, this is probably the best game we've had all season.
What are we doing here? We're firing everybody up pretty much, right?
Yeah. You kind of have to, don't you? Like I definitely will.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Brady, Fournette, Evans, Godwin, Gronk for sure on Tampa's side of the ball. Not sure if Antonio Brown. I know he was on the COVID list, but I did hear that he has to do if he tests negative because he is vaccinated. If he tests negative 2 straight times, he's good to go for Sunday. Do you think that's a possibility?
Right. I think.
And who do you?
It depends if he's. I mean, like you said, if he's vaccinated. So.
Yeah. If they said he was. So if he doesn't play now. yeah, if he doesn't play, who's the receiver to have out of the two of these guys?
I think Chris Godwin. I mean,
Yeah.
AJ Brown had a big game. Evans has a big game. Now it's Godwin's turn.
Yeah, starts back over, and I think Gronk. I think you're going to see another possible 2-touchdown game in this one.
I don't see why not. Why the fuck not? Let's just go with it.
He's playing better than he has been. Like it's ridiculous how good he is right now. And on the Rams, sorry, go ahead.
I think Brady's on the brink of breaking a record, and the Bucks play New England next
week.
So what I'm hearing is he might try and hold back a little bit.
Oh, you know? Why would you not do that? Of course.
Of course, yeah. So let me break my record in Foxborough.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Like, I can see that. I can see that being oh, now we have Fournette and Rojo going for 100 yards each.
Yeah, as I beat you guys 45-0, right?
Exactly.
On the Rams side of the ball, Darrell Henderson's most likely out, so you're going to see a little bit more of Sony Michel. Stafford startable?
I mean, he's been okay. Yeah, I don't think 2 quarterback leagues for sure. I mean, we've mentioned a bunch of options going down Derek Carr. Like, if you feel okay about Derek Carr, even Kirk Cousins, I wouldn't think that's crazy if you decide to go that route. I mean, Tampa Bay does have like top 2, top 3 defense in the NFL. So if you decide to steer away from Stafford, I'm not going to blame you for it. I mean, Kirk Cousins has a great matchup. We'll talk about him in 1 minute. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad at you for going that route. Or Daniel Jones, like you said, or Teddy Bridgewater. I think that's all viable.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. I mean, I know you're actually. Were you high on Robert Woods? Are you still high on Robert Woods?
I mean, I'm on and off. Like, I think he has the ability to turn the corner, but he's already 30. Like, maybe they just start moving in Van Jefferson, who I am a little higher on than you are, or they go Cooper Kupp, Higbee. Like, I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah,
and I think he's a wide receiver 3, and I don't think there's a lot of upside beyond that.
And you're starting Kupp no matter what, right? Wide receiver 1 this week.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Think I mean, why the fuck not? Like, he's been that good.
He has been. Higbee. Now that's a question. Are you? I'm not starting Higbee, to be honest with you. I know there's. I know the tight end spot is absolutely terrible, but I'm going to look for a guy that's going to be used. At least has seen some sort of action. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it is going to be a tough game for Stafford, so I can see him looking for a safety net in Higbee and him getting a lot of catches. Yeah. So PPR, he could be really usable. He is on the field 100% of snaps. So whenever someone is on the field that much, you expect something to happen.
Yeah,
exactly. So, I mean, if you have better options out there, go with that. Like, I mean, but I wouldn't be mad if you went with Hooper or Font in front of him, or, looking for a touchdown from Robert Tonyan. I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Seattle at Minnesota. On the Seattle side of the ball, standard Wilson, Carson, Lockett, Metcalf, all starts.
Yep. Nothing to change there.
The Vikings. I do like Kirk Cousins this week against the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks have been getting, burnt a little bit this year. So, I mean, you could throw on them. Their defense isn't super scary like they used to be.
Right. I think you're starting Kirk Cousins. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to have him ranked in the top 12 this week. I think I have him around that range. He's been sensational. Like, there's nothing. I don't know how long it's going to last. I actually have him ranked number 9 right now, ahead of Dak Prescott. So I don't know. I think I'm just going against matchup and what he's done. Dak Prescott didn't look good last week against a good defense. So
fair enough. Dalvin Cook should feast play in this game. I think he should be good to go.
Yeah, he should play as well. Just note that.
I know. He was banged up, but I'm pretty confident he will be in for this one.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, both starts.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy.
What about KJ Osborne? I mean, we saw this guy. He got his first career touchdown last week, and I mean, he could go 3 straight games with 5+ catches. So. And 75+ yards. So, I mean, you're flexing them?
In deep leagues, I wouldn't be crazy. I wouldn't think you're crazy for it. I mean, it just depends on your options. Like, I don't draft a lot of wide receivers in my league. So if I need a wide receiver in this for some reason, I don't think that's crazy to start him. Like, if I'm down Deontay Johnson or, T Higgins, all right, let's throw in KJ Osborne. I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Last couple games we'll fire through real quick here. Green Bay Packers at the 49ers. What are you looking for in this game?
I mean, you got to start Rodgers after last week. You have to start Aaron Jones after last week. You have to start Devontae Adams. Tanyan's the top 12 tight end, just because of the touchdown capabilities. If you're looking for someone else over there, I mean, I think MVS is involved. I think Alan Lazard is completely faded out. I mean, I don't know if you're starting MVS, but he's there and he's
getting targeted. Yeah, exactly. Here's a quick fun stat for you. Aaron Jones became the 8th running back since 1950 and the first running back since Danny Woodhead with 3+ reception touchdowns and a rushing touchdown in a single game.
Whoa.
Now look at that, hey?
Danny Woodhead joining the ranks.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, on the 49ers side, I mean, I'm not starting Jimmy Garoppolo.
No.
There should be no reason you need to right now, not with the full slate of quarterbacks in there. This is what's scary. Elijah Mitchell. What to do with him?
You're not starting because he probably won't play. It sounds like it looks like Sermon might be the one that's the healthiest back going into the week.
Yeah, so we got to keep an eye on that, guys. I mean, like I said, on Sunday morning, Dale and I will be here to answer questions and talk to you guys about inactives and stuff like that, other guys to fit in there in case a guy like Elijah Mitchell is out. Yeah, I'm basically not. That's a wait and see approach for me. I do have him in quite a few leagues, but I'm not set on starting him until I know for sure that he's 100% playing. And even then, I'm not probably putting him in more than a flex play. Like, I mean, if he's playing, you kind of got to fire him up because he's pretty much had all the work.
Right. Yeah, I'm on board with that. I mean, who knows? They both might be out, and then you have to start the guy they just picked up, Patrick something.
What's his name? Patrick Jocks or something like that. Something like that. Yeah. Anyways, is this going to be finally a George Kittle game?
You got to hope for it, man. Like he's amazing, and it's Jacquizz Patrick.
Jacquizz Patrick,
and yeah, I think
not even close.
You have to start Kittle, but no. I knew it was something.
I don't know where the shocks came from. I have no idea, but that's all right.
I went to pick him up in one league, and I picked up Jarrett Patterson instead of him on accident. I was like, oh fuck. Yeah, I think I have him ranked at tight end 10. I mean, I'll put him back up there. I know he's going to do it eventually. It's just the matchup. I don't know. It's possible.
And then Debo, you're firing him up without question. And Brandon Ayuk, I'm still waiting. I'm still holding off. I'm not.
If he doesn't produce this week, I think you kind of have to cut him.
You could drop him. You can consider dropping him or trade him for something.
Yeah, I don't think that's too crazy.
If there's still a Brandon Ayuk truther out there, then go hunt him down and sell him for pennies on the dollar.
I'm okay with that.
Is that the same?
KJ Osborne.
Is that the saying?
Yeah, I guess you guys don't have that saying because you don't have pennies in Canada.
Pennies on the dollar. We used to, not anymore. And it's KJ Osborne, not JJ Osborne, Armando. It's probably why you can't find these guys when you're trying to pick them up, because you don't even know their names.
I know, it's true.
And then the last game we're going to talk about quickly here is Philadelphia at the Eagles at the Cowboys. Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, startable.
I think Miles Sanders is the most questionable guy. You're starting him because you drafted him as early as you did, but Gainwell is getting more work as the season progresses. So it's interesting to see how it progresses.
That's what I'm curious about to see. That's what I was going to ask you. It was Gainwell. Does that scare you a little bit? So
it does, 100%.
Your receivers in this game that's going to be Devonta Smith and basically Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, I mean, you expect them to throw a lot. You expect it to happen, but I mean, last week San Diego couldn't do shit against them. So we'll see how this game progresses.
That's LA. Is it? It's LA Chargers, not San Diego, my friend.
Oh my god.
Oh boy, Armando, we missed you, buddy. We missed you.
Corrections.
His first career 100-yard game last week, Quez Watkins. Are you just somebody to keep an eye out for? Hey,
no.
I don't think so. He's a nobody.
He's a nobody.
I will go and say a guy to just keep your eye on him. That's all.
All I'm saying is, if you're looking for someone to pick up on the Philly, pick up Gainwell and hold on to him.
And just stash him for a while until you see what's going on for sure.
Ertz is on the COVID list as well, so that makes Goddard a tight end 5 for me. Like he's up. If Ertz is out, you're starting Goddard. You're firing him up over a lot of guys.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and then on the Cowboys side here, Prescott was starting. Basically starting Elliott because you draft him where you did. Flexing Pollard at this point?
It depends on the format. I think he's involved, and if he's on the field, he's going to play. So, I don't think it's crazy to start him in a flex if you're desperate. If you own CEH, I don't know. What do you do?
Yeah, exactly. And then you're firing up all these receivers, right? Cooper, Lamb, and oh my goodness. Cooper, Lamb, and
that's it. Wilson?
Oh, that's
You're not
it.
starting.
Oh, yeah, not Wilson. No, I forget. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, exactly. That's who I was going to say. And I'm like, wait a second. So pretty much Cooper and Lamb, those are your guys. And I'm not touching the tight ends unless I need to, like Dalton Schultz or.
If one of them goes down, then I think the other one becomes the top of tight end.
Yeah, I agree with you. But as of right now, they're kind of basically splitting the work, right?
Right, exactly.
So. All right. Okay, cool. That covers all of our games, Armando. A little bit longer than what we wanted to, but that's what happens when we got good conversation going, right?
I know, and I make mistakes like KJ Osborne or JJ Osborne.
But anyways, thanks a lot for listening, guys. Armando, thanks for jumping on again. Hopefully we'll talk to you very soon again. And like I said, thanks again, guys, and take care. Peace.
Good night.
Dream and eat nation, we doing what we like. Tune in every week, guarantee we get it hype. Fantasy, football enthusiasts, I know you plan to be joining us on Eat Sleep Fantasy.